Year 6, welcome to another day of learning. I hope you have all been enjoying the beautiful sunny hot weather. I know I have. And that you haven't been working too hard. I know you might think we're giving you lots and lots of work, but just do what you can and hopefully you will get through it and be able to enjoy some of that lovely sunshine we have at the minute. So today we are on day 4 of non-chronological reports. So for today's lesson, you are going to need your exercise book, a pen, a pencil, a ruler, chapter 4 of A Bridge on Fire, the multiple choice to do for chapter 4, and of course your creativity. So please pause here while you go and get those few things that you need. So welcome to Thankful Thursday. I spoke about last week about being thankful for everything that you have been given, and for NHS, like we do clap for the carers every Thursday. I hope you'll be doing that today as well. So today we are reading through the next chapter of our book and answering the longer comprehension questions. And in writing, we're going to be looking at how we can take notes effectively. But first, I want to show you this picture. I was pretty impressed by this picture when I saw it. And then I saw the quote was by Winston Churchill, that fits in perfectly. And what he said was, attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Now, if you think that cat thinks it's a cat, okay? It's not a lion, is it? Okay, so it's just a normal household pet. However, if it thinks that it is a lion and it is amazing and it is brave and it is strong, then that is what it's going to be. Okay, so in the same way, if you think that you can be amazing and fantastic and wonderful in everything you do, then you will be. So keep a positive attitude on everything and you will see that things will work out and it will make a difference to your education and to your learning. Okay, so today we are looking at chapter 4, so please pause the video here and write the date and the LI for me, please. And we are going to also do the multiple choice to do as well. So if you pause the video here, write the date, the LI, go ahead and read chapter 4 and do the multiple choice to do as well, and then we will move on to our questions shortly. Okay, so here are our questions. You need to answer them in full sentences and use evidence from the text if you need to. What had helped Kat to become such a confident fighter? Why is food becoming harder to find in the woods? What did Kat and Jean-Paul find that they had in common? Why did Jean-Paul invite Kat to come back to his house? They stood there awkwardly for a few seconds and then both said good luck at exactly the same moment. Why do you think that both Kat and Jean-Paul felt awkward at that moment? Okay, so those are your 5 questions, not too difficult. All of the answers are in the text. Pause here. You can write the answers in your books and we will be marking them shortly. Okay, so the answer to number 1. What had helped Kat to become a confident fighter? So afternoons spent fighting with her best friend Philip and his mates had prepared her well for this fight. Okay, that's number 1. For number 2, why is food becoming harder to find in the woods? Food is getting scarcer. The German soldiers are taking loads of it for themselves. So they're eating the food that they find in the forest and in the woods, and they are not actually letting the French get to it. Okay, so that's why it's quite hard to find that food. What did Kat and Jean-Paul find that they had in common? They both had heard plenty of scary stories about the war. Why did Jean-Paul invite Kat to come back to his house? Because he wanted her to have some shelter and a rest before she continued her search. Remember, she lied to him and said she was looking for her parents, but obviously she was on a mission, but she's not allowed to say anything. Number 5, they stood there awkwardly for a few seconds, then both said good luck at exactly the same time. Why do you think that both Kat and Jean-Paul felt awkward at this moment? So it's almost like they didn't know what to say to each other, and possibly Kat might have wanted to tell Jean-Paul the truth or do something more to help him, but she didn't quite know what else she could do. So it's a bit of an awkward moment there between the two of them. You can then add in your own ideas. This is just what I think, but it doesn't mean that it's exactly right. You can then add in what you think as well. But please make sure you send your comprehension question answers to year6@grange.harrow.sch.uk so I can look through your work. So pause the video here and tick correct or whatever you need to do to answer these questions and check that they are okay. Okay, so we're going to move on now to our writing and to be able to take notes effectively. Now, the reason I thought we should do this lesson today is because yesterday I've set you a challenge to find and research your own information for your World War II non-chronological report. However, some of you may find it difficult to make notes. So I thought, why not go through some tips on how to make notes more effectively? So, why take notes? To gather information about a specific topic, to use within a piece of writing at a later date, to analyze a text, and to prepare for a test. So these are the reasons why taking notes is really important. And it's not only today, you may need to take notes lots and lots of times when you get older, especially when you're at university. So it's pretty good to get into practice from now. Don't panic, okay? Just think, what information do I need to find out from this text? Examine the pictures and headings. Read and take notes on one subheading at a time. So remember, we set out our plan and we actually wrote little mini headings for each paragraph. So just do that one at a time. Don't think, oh, I've got to do all of it in one go. Take regular brain breaks and make helpful notes. Okay, so don't just sit there for hours on end. Take a break. I have to take breaks from the computer. I can't sit all day staring at a computer screen, and I don't expect you to either. Okay, so just pace it in your own time. Take your time. Read and take notes on one subheading at a time. So after reading one section, stop and write down your thoughts and answers to any of the adjective review questions you found. This will help you to remember the material due to the writing process. It will also help to keep your notes organized. So if you're writing in a subheading, like I said, keep a separate page and then write your notes down. And often writing down things, which I found, actually helps me remember. That's how I used to revise for my exams, just making lots and lots of notes. So you need to do the same thing. It will really help you. Okay, and then every time you move on to a new section, do the same thing again and just repeat as you go through. Okay, so take helpful notes. Scan for keywords. So make sure you're looking to see if you can find keywords that you need in that text. So for example, if you're looking for Nazis, then look for that word through the text and find those words instead of reading the whole thing. Skim through important facts, so look for those important facts as you go through. Write down the key information only. You don't need to copy everything down. Use abbreviations and symbols for visual reminders and emphasis. So you might want to draw a little picture or write a few letters for a long word, just as long as you remember it. Okay, and concept maps, which is spider diagrams basically. Okay, so you might want to create a spider diagram just to help you make notes. Sorry, forgot to say for the other slide, pause it, make notes, whatever you need to kind of give you some more tips. So copy down things that you think will be useful for you. Skim for important facts. Once you've found the correct section, you do not need to read every single word. Skim over each sentence, taking in just the important facts. Okay, and that is a skill. And you kind of have been doing that because you've been doing quite a lot of comprehension even before we went into lockdown. So you should have those skimming and scanning skills kind of embedded now. But please just go and find the information that you really do need. Scan for keywords. So think of the important words that link to what you find out. Quickly scan the text for these words and read only parts of the text that contain your keywords. Okay, so you're looking for those key things that you need to find. If you identify those keywords, then it makes life a lot easier. Okay, right, this is what I would like you to do. I want you to write notes on this information. Okay, so I want you to think, what is the key information in this text? And that's what I want you to do, just write notes on that. Okay, so these are the keywords that are in the text, so they've been highlighted. Okay, so if you focused on those key areas, then that's really good. Sometimes you don't need to write full sentences, you can just write keywords and kind of link them together. Okay, so for example, we've got annual flooding, Nile, July until November. So that tells you that there's yearly flooding of the Nile and it's from July till November. You don't need to write the whole sentence. And if you've written these notes, then it will be easier for you to remember what you were trying to write straight when you're writing out in neat or in full sentences. Because you're writing them out, it will make sense to you. If you just copy it, it's not going to make any sense to anybody. Okay, last tip for this lesson, abbreviations. So this is like where you are breaking down those words and making them smaller. So instead of, for example, you can write e.g. Instead of information, you can write info. So you know all those times you're telling me, oh miss, can we use text speak when we write? And the answer is no, you can't. In this case, I'm going to say yes, you can. So if you're writing you can write you. But please make sure it is just for your notes. When you're writing it in full sentences, you're writing the full words. Okay? And obviously, brainstorming, we do a lot of it in every lesson at school. Use this. It's really, really good. You might want to put in the middle the section that you're looking at. So it might be the two sides, good and bad. And then on one side, you might write all the list of countries that are on the good side, and then all the countries that were against Great Britain. And then you might want to do impact on Great Britain or impact on the people, and then write a list of everything around, which was the impact of World War II on the communities at the time. Okay, so have a think how you might want to organize yourself. There's lots and lots of ways. You can either write lots of notes, you might put symbols, you might put abbreviations, you might do brainstorming, you might do everything all in one, but make it a way, make sure that your notes are written clearly, that you can understand what you have written, that it is easy for you to then write that into full sentences, and that you've used the key information. Okay, now I do not expect you to send me pages and pages and pictures of your notes. Okay, you don't need to do that. All I would like you to do for this is just send me a little note, a little email or a message on the blog to say, hi miss, I've made my notes for the topic and I'm ready to write my report. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to start thinking about how we are going to structure our non-chronological report. Okay, take your time with these note making. Please make sure, like I said, that you use just the key information. And I look forward to seeing you or speaking to you tomorrow.